time in less than a week to help mediate the talks. Also, Pakistan's army chief expected to join the discussions.
Fox Business's Ashley Webster in Tel Aviv as a tug of war continues over the Strait of Hormuz. A long-awaited report on the Democrats' 2024 election loss is now public after internal pressure to release it.
The report released by DNC Chair Ken Martin today is nearly 200 pages long. And one of its arguments is that Democrats lost connection with working-class Americans, focusing too much on anti-Trump messaging instead of coming up with a strong economic message that would resonate with voters in the South, Midwest, and rural America. The report argues the 2024 election exposed deeper structural problems in the Democrats' operation, like not spending enough time and money to build relationships. It states Democrats need to do more to meet voters where they're getting their content, like social media.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a cool breeze with a mix of clouds and sun, reaching a high of 60. Tonight will be cloudy with a low of 51. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and breezy with a high of 64. Saturday will bring a passing morning shower, then remain mostly cloudy with a high of 69. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Alex Marlow doesn't see advancement.
This is one of the narratives that's emerging as we head into the midterm season. The Democrats don't stand for anything. They don't have any core beliefs. There's nothing that they represent other than hatred of Donald Trump and hatred of the conservative movement and the Republican Party. This is the unifying theme of almost all the content I've been presenting since I launched the show in January, is that what ideas are the Democrats advancing?
The Alex Marlow Show. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 30% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
On Salem News Channel, principled voices are shaping today's conversation. Scott Jennings brings clarity to the toughest debates. Josh Hammer's blistering commentary puts politics and culture on trial. And Alex Marlow's insight connects us to what matters most. Watch anytime on Samsung TV Plus, Pluto TV, or find us on your screen at snc.tv. 3 new shows, 1 powerful lineup. Salem News Channel, across America.
If you're over 65 and struggling with knee pain, Joint Relief Institute offers a guaranteed way to treat it. It's non-surgical and often covered by Medicare and private insurance. It's JRI's Joint Arthritis Treatment, knee lubrication placement that's so accurate it's 100% guaranteed and can relieve your knee and shoulder pain in 10 minutes or less. Book your risk-free consultation today and get back to walking, golfing, pickleball to cycling without pain or medication. Call 708-315-6800. Meet the provider, get an X-ray and joint consultation. Why wait? JRI has treated over 30,000 Chicagoans and performed over 400,000 procedures. You could be next. Over 5,000 5-star Google reviews can't be wrong.
Stop living in pain. Call the Joint Relief Institute today, 708-315-6800, or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oak Brook, and Orland Park. That's 708-315-6800 for the Joint Relief Institute. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Hour 5 for us, Amy. We're back at it again. Focus more on state and local, but it's going to be a great program, fresh content for you. Because there's so much to talk about in the state of Illinois.
And I have to tell you this, if anybody watches local news here, I know I'm a little bit of a news nerd. I've, admitted that many times. There's this one commercial that keeps running, and I don't understand it, but let me let you hear the spot if you haven't heard it yet.
They did it again. Springfield politicians made bad policy, secretly tucked into the budget. Now, tipped workers pay the price.
Hey, why do I have to pay the price?
I gotta pay the price. Unless Springfield fixes this mistake, your debit or credit card may not work to pay tips or sales tax starting July 1st. It's a new state law. Tell Springfield, stop the credit card chaos law.
Or else I'll pay the price.
Well, what's going on here? I don't even know either. Honestly, it's really hard to understand it.
Do you pay, so if you get a bill for food at a restaurant or DoorDash, you pay that bill, then you have to pay separately on a different form of payment for the sales tax, and if you want to give a tip, because that's going to screw over a lot of tipped workers, obviously, but also it's going to be a pain in the you-know-what for us here in Illinois, and no other state has this. So why are we waiting?
No.
I mean, it's going to go into effect July 1st. Is there anything we can do to stop it?
Well, again, first in the nation bills don't always work well for us in the state of Illinois. Look at the Safety Act, right? That's another example of it. But here to explain it, because he is the Republican spokesperson on the House Financial Services Financial Institutions Committee, is Dan Ugaste. And I want to thank Dan. He's the assistant minority leader for the House. He represents the 65th district, which is western suburbs, mainly Kane County. And Dan, what is going on with this bill?
Well, good morning. Good to talk to both of you. And I know you're doing a lot of work today, so that's always appreciated. This bill is a mess. It basically, what it does is right now, if you make any payment for any good or service, you make one payment, and there's something called an interchange fee. That's what the company who sells you the service then pays to the bank or the credit card issuing company for using their service in order to get payment through the credit card. And what this does is this bill what the law says that went into place was that as of a certain date, you can no longer charge that. The banks and credit card companies can no longer issue that or charge the interchange fee for sales tax or tips. You can only charge it for the services or goods sold. So that means for everything, whether it be food, delivery, whatever it is, if it's sold, they have to separate that out. And we would be, as you said, the only state in the country to do that. And the systems just don't exist to do it.
Well, why are they doing this? I mean, what is in it for lawmakers?
Well, what's in it for lawmakers? That gets back to the original part of the story. While it was passed a couple of years ago, it hasn't gone into place yet because an extension was given till July 1 of this year, and it's suspected probably another extension will be given because there's litigation in the federal courts over whether this is even permissible. But the reason why lawmakers would want it is the Democrats were looking for more money to have in the end of the year budget in order to spend more money in the state of Illinois. And it was another way of raising taxes because the way this was done was in exchange for recouping some of the money that retailers currently get for collecting sales tax for the state, the fee that they got to charge the state for clawing some of that back. that the state got, the state said, okay, we'll give this to you so you can keep more of the money that you normally give to banks.
Okay, this is just, it's unworkable. And you've got two major lobbying groups working against each other. You've got the entire bankers pack on one side of the equation, and then you've got the retail association on the other side of the equation. And the retailers want this bill, which is confusing, unworkable. And the bankers are saying, we don't even have the software to make this happen. We can't even handle this. This is so stupid.
Right. It would cause a bunch of different things. For one, to figure out either how to break it down and in the charge within a computer system somehow, if that can be done. I don't know the specifics, so I'll take them at their word that this is just almost impossible to do, especially when you're doing it only for Illinois. And these systems operate on a nationwide basis. So I don't know how they're supposed to do that. Or you'd have to make people pay in separate increments for everything, for the good, the sales tax, and then the service, slowing everything down. Or they'd have to pay cash for the sales tax.
Well, cash is bad. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting. I mean, remember during COVID, don't touch the cash.
Well,
it could be dirty and spread COVID.
That was the message, no question.
Well, can you just imagine an out-of-stater?
And we get a lot of tourists in Chicago.
We get a lot of, they're very proud of their tourism numbers, okay?
All we got, sister, right now, okay?
And they come and they're like, what the hell? Okay, I want to tip you. I can't tip you.
But I can't tip you on this, and all I have is a debit card and a credit card because nobody carries cash anymore, really.
Right.
It's
Apple Pay. Hey, wait, can we do Apple Pay?
You know what? I don't even know how that would work. I couldn't tell you. All I know is how it's going to impact anyone who uses a credit or debit card.
And that's like hair, nails. I mean, it's not just food.
It's everything.
Everything we do is that way. Even if we buy clothes. What about groceries?
Yes.
Oh my.
Anything in which there's a sales tax or a tip. Don't leave yet, please.
No, I'm going to grocery shop. I'm telling you a little.
Okay.
You can save a lot of money if you shop at Walmart in Hammond, Indiana.
We need not to do that though, too. That's a problem for Illinois as well. So what we need to do is get people doing what you're doing and I'm trying to do, which is change these laws, fix the state, get us heading the right direction again. We're a wonderful state if we were just governed the right way. So
100%
in the commercial,
agree.
it says call your state rep. I mean, is it too late? I mean, it's a call to action. Like, find out who your state rep is and call them right now and tell them no.
Right. Well, this law has passed, but like I said, it's never been put in force because they've been extending it, realizing there's a problem. There's also a ongoing federal lawsuit in which both actually the Trump and the Biden administration, their banking arms or whatever the agency is, I'm not certain which one it is that's gotten involved, have both weighed in and say, federal law governs in this area. You shouldn't be getting involved here, and have filed briefs on behalf of the banking industry for this. So we'll see where it lands. There's a new rule or regulation that was put in place by the federal government for which the Seventh Circuit told the parties you're going back to the district court to take a look at it in accordance with this new regulation and let us know what your decision is after that.
Okay, great. So you're expecting another extension on this bill is the bottom line?
An extension. What I'd really love to see is a repeal so we could spend our time doing other things that are very important that Illinois needs right now. But an extension at least, or hopefully a repeal. But you know what? As the industry's saying, the people really need to call their legislators and let them know they want this done. Either repeal it or at the very least extend it.
Yes, and advocacy was very important in stopping the Uber sales charge surcharge.
Yep.
So these people, you can get involved. You can contact your legislator and tell them this is absolutely unworkable and it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Again, it would be the first in the nation, completely complicated. But there is a lot going on down there. Could you give us a little bit of update from what you know about the mega project bill, considering the Bears are ready to move on something by the end of the month?
Sure. The mega project bill is right now over in the Senate. There was a version passed out of the House that I think almost everyone knows by now is going to be changed significantly if before it passes the Senate and comes back, if it's not a new bill altogether. And then we'll have to pass it through the House and get it to the governor to sign. I strongly suspect that something will be done. And my hope is, talk is, that they're going to do it the right way to protect existing property taxpayers in the state of Illinois. Without it, I certainly won't consider it. I won't consider it without property tax relief for all Illinoisans and substantial property tax relief. But, it's probably going to make its way back. It's just a matter of time. The biggest issue right now is the way these chambers operate with their supermajorities is they look to pass everything with all Democrats. And Chicago Democrats are really trying to stop the Bears from leaving the city of Chicago, and that's just going to happen one way or another. It sounds like they're going to Arlington Heights or Hammond, Indiana, one of the two.
Yeah, it's a done deal. It's not in Chicago anymore. So now they're trying to save them and keep them in Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
Well, but Chicago legislators, from what I understand, are holding up things, wanting them to stay in Chicago. So that's what I was reading today. And some rumblings I've heard. So I'm sure there's a little something to that. But look, this could get done. The easiest way to get it done is to do a good mega projects bill that would protect property taxpayers in the state, our existing ones. Bring some property tax certainty to big projects that want to come to Illinois, provide some reform for people in our state. You could have Democrat votes and Republican votes pass this thing, I'm sure, in both chambers and get it to the governor's desk. You have to just get rid of this thing that, we need enough Democrats to pass it through each chamber.
Well,
that way of thinking is harming our state greatly.
Yeah, if you gave me a 40-year property tax freeze, that'd be great. I'll take that. So that's the deal I want. But
well,
I'm a dreamer.
What it is it's an agreement worked out with the local taxing districts, and there'll probably be some incremental increases. But I mean, let's look at it. Let's look at the Bears. The Bears building a stadium in Arlington Heights. The school district is the biggest property tax recipient in that area. Yet a Bears stadium is not going to add a single kid to the school district. So any increase of property taxes over vacant land is going to be a boom for the school. Right. And why they should pay at a level that is just outrageous, as we have in Illinois, as the highest property taxes in the nation, it makes no sense. They can't be competitive. They can't function as a business well and pay those kind of property taxes. We all know that. Yeah, no, and I don't disagree. You're absolutely right. They're not going to add a whole lot more to the tax burden on schools, quite frankly. Hey, I wanted to move on, though, because the Democrats have promised transparency on the budget. And indeed, they have way ahead of time pushed out the spending plan, but that's only part of the equation. So we don't know what they're going to do on revenue. We don't know what the BIMP looks like, which is the Budget Implementation Act, which usually has a lot of revenue initiatives. Now, Illinois Governor Pritzker, according to Center Square, has ruled out the passage of many new tax proposals from progressive lawmakers before the end of the legislative session. But Democrat lawmakers behind those proposals claim that their initiatives would have raised more than $4 billion annually, and it looks like they're wanting some of that. What do you think is going to happen on the budget? Well, I think the budget, first of all, the proposals that were put out there that were filed are actually just the governor's spending plan. So I suspect those are going to change somewhat significantly before everything's said and done. As far as the BIMP, the money taken in, I always tell people who live in the state, be careful, pay attention, and try and be in touch with your legislators, because they're going to do something last minute on you. I understand Governor Pritzker has been saying some things he's not going to do, but at the same time, last year before the budget passed, a new revenue was brought in, almost $1 billion in taxes, new taxes last year in fees. Governor Pritzker had said anyone who wants to increase spending in Illinois is going to have to show me where we're going to make the cuts somewhere else, indicating I'm not raising taxes. And we all know that didn't happen. So, hopefully he'll be true to his word this year, but I'm not putting too much in that. I think people need to watch out. The governor's own proposal to meet his spending plan included another $725 million in taxes and fees, new taxes and fees. So that would be horrific for the state of Illinois. And, we watch for what's coming. I know social media tax is being talked about. As a matter of fact, on my way to my office this morning, I was stopped by someone who, had a business owner down here saying, hey, I want to talk to you about making sure we don't pass any social media tax. And here's why it would be problematic. I said, I already understand. You need to go talk to someone who may be thinking about voting for it. I'm not voting for new taxes this year.
Okay, Dan, before we have you sign off, because I know you have to get to a session here fairly quickly, is there anything else going on in your area down there that you think that our listeners should be aware of?
There's all sorts of stuff happening, and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not coming. I know the governor had the BUILD Act that he really wanted to pass, and it looks like that may not be happening in spring session now. But I think everyone needs to carefully watch for what comes in veto session. I hear a number of things are just being postponed to then, possibly. Second Amendment rights are under attack, and whether those, as Jeannie, you know what they are, gotcha bills just to get votes from Republicans so they can try and run ads against them and say things that aren't true about who we are, what we stand for, or what we believe in, just to do things like that. But they're pushing bills, and whether or not they'll try and bring them all the way to fruition or if it's just a smokescreen, it's unclear. So,
hey, Dan, any movement on amending the Safety Act? I mean, here's a crazy idea. If anyone's involved in a violent crime or an attempted murder, that maybe they should stay in jail until their trial?
I will tell you this. There have been talks on various bills dealing with criminal justice reform, and not in the way that's happened in the past where it's been to remove safety for people, but moving back the other way. Whether that will come to anything is not clear yet. A lot happens last minute down here, and I think it just all depends on what there's some political will to do, and maybe how much they decide to work with Republicans, if at all, this year.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. Are you guys going to be working through the Memorial Day weekend? Or are you going to go home, or what's it going to be?
So we will be here through Friday. The Senate looks like may be done today. It's not clear. They might be. But we'll be here through Friday. We'll be gone for the weekend, back on Memorial Day. All of us are scheduled to be back. And then we're scheduled to be in through May 31st over the weekend as well. So we'll see.
Yep. Right. 10 days left to go.
Get those bears for us, all right?
Dan Ugaste? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just saying, very, very hopeful that happens, as I think is everybody. But, we just have to make sure it's done right.
Dan Ugaste, thanks so much for spending some time with us and explaining all of this. We really appreciate your service there.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, coming up, Darren Bailey on bended knee, and he's using Democratic buzzwords. We'll explain.
You're listening to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Scheinkup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-827-6261. That's 312-827-6261. 312-827-6261.
Now that spring is here, it's time for some spring home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation, with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with CenterGuard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive spring special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit CenterGuardPlumbing.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, normally at city council meetings, you have Flip Chicago Red and their gear, their team. They travel in a pack. Have you noticed that? I don't know who's funding them. Maybe someday we'll ask them. But yesterday, surprise, look who's strutting down the aisle to grab the mic. Feeble, on bended knee. No, he didn't look feeble, but he, because of the juxtaposition of where Mayor Brandon Johnson was sitting and where he was speaking, it looked like he was asking forgiveness from the Lord, our Father above. And it was Darren Bailey, because he keeps bringing up the fact that, I'm trying to find the bite here. He keeps bringing up the fact that he called Chicago a hellhole, and oh my goodness, it'd be great if I could find where this clip is. Peter, if you could help me, that'd be great. But he basically apologized for it yet again. I think this is his fourth apology, but this is his first apology trying to be governor for the second term.
To this city, I owe you something. I owe you an apology. I said some things about Chicago that were wrong. What I meant was that the political class is failing us, and I should have been more clear.
Okay. 312-642-5600. I will say this, the clip was a little bit longer than just the 13 seconds that you showed. It was, well over 2 minutes that he spoke in front of the city council. And quite frankly, he's using the leftist talking points and the leftist terms. And that's where I really have a problem with them. We cannot buy into their terminology. So
what were the Democrat buzzwords that he's using?
He talked about equity. We need equity. Look, Republicans don't talk about that. Bob Woodson, who died today, and we covered this extensively on Dan's show. I mean, he never talked about equity. He talked about equality under the law, equality in hiring for jobs, equality everywhere. It's not equity. We don't use those terms, Darren Bailey. And then he spoke about, oh, and by the way, your schools are still underfunded. Nobody in the state thinks that spending $30,000 per student is underfunding education anywhere in the state.
Anywhere in the country.
And he said that because of their fake, their fake determination of what's an equitable funding or what's an adequate funding. He used their terms. I really found that very distasteful.
Yeah. And when we come back, you have to hear, I can't stand this alderman, but he was mocking. I mean, Darren Bailey was mocked yesterday by every Democrat in that room. We'll hear from that. And then we have much more. Pritzker Voting Rights Act and changing the meaning of Memorial Day. Oh, yeah. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Scott Jennings says we need to recognize the problem.
What is going on here? This judge apologizing to someone who's trying to kill the president? Democrats programming violent left-wing radicals, blaming things like climate change instead of the people that they have radicalized? We have a left-wing violence problem in this country. Everyone knows it. Failure to acknowledge it is only going to make it worse.
The Scott Jennings Show. Weekdays at noon, right before Hugh Hewitt at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
News. I'm Chris Chris Foster, the Democratic National Committee releases its report on what went wrong in 2024 when Vice President Kamala Harris lost the election to President Trump.
One of its arguments is that Democrats lost connection with working-class Americans, focusing too much on anti-Trump messaging instead of coming up with a strong economic message that would resonate with voters in the South, Midwest, and rural America. It states Democrats need to do more to meet voters where they're getting their content, like social media.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he hopes Pakistani negotiators' visit to Iran today helps advance the latest peace proposal.
If we can get a good deal done, that would be great. I'm not here to tell you that it's going to happen for sure, but I'm here to tell you that we're going to do everything we can to see if we can get one. But if we can't get a good deal, the president's been clear. He has other options.
America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a cool breeze with a mix of clouds and sun, reaching a high of 60. Tonight will be cloudy with a low of 51. Tomorrow will bring mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions with a high of 64. Looking ahead to Saturday, anticipate a passing morning shower followed by thick cloud cover with a high of 69. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
All right, now's the time to do it. Memorial Day. You know that you want a clean, shiny, brand new garage floor or a patio or a deck around a pool. And if you want that, if you're sick at looking at the cracked surface, maybe it's a tripping hazard, call our good friends at Level 10. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom shiny in just one day. Seriously, I went to work and when I came home, it was done. My husband and I love it. A shiny new gleaming garage floor. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, a permanent, durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. And mention me, Amy, for $500 off. So get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. And it's not an epoxy job. Oh, no, it's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is superior to epoxy. Again, one day and they're done. And if you're worried, well, I have too much clutter and junk in my garage, they'll move it for you. Level your garage floor, get those cracks gone. And I'm telling you, I love my garage. Gina, you saw it. I have a Peloton in there.
Beautiful.
I know. Don't you like it? I mean, because you got to park your garage in the hobo house there, huh? On Marshfield. And one day and they're done. So schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com, level10coatings.com, or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Did the Greek gods ever sleep?
Huh?
Did Aphrodite have a heart-shaped bed?
Maybe.
Did Hades, god of the underworld, sleep on a trundle bed?
I think the Greek gods would have loved the Nevaeh bedroom from Penny Mustard.
Nevaeh is heaven backwards.
A bedroom fit for a king.
You mean a Zeus?
But not Poseidon. He'd have a waterbed.
The Nevaeh bedroom, starting at just $168 a month, with no interest and no payments till May of 2029, through May 31st at Penny Mustard.
6 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again. Not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Protecting Your Assets with Steve Shyman. Listen Saturday mornings at 8. Learn more at willsave.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back to The Real Story with Jeannie Ives and Amy Jacobson. We're on our 5th hour of radio. I'm doing 7 hours of radio today.
Woo! Go for it.
I can't wait. Working is good. Staying busy is good. You don't lose your mind at home. All right, so we were just talking about Darren Bailey, who apologized again for when he ran for governor the first time for calling Chicago a hellhole. We can say that word, right? And, well, I just did, and so did he multiple times last time around. Some people got a text message saying, well, Chicago is a hellhole, and he should not have apologized. Jeannie and Amy got that text message in. But one alderman, who I can't stand this alderman, and he knows how I feel about him. He owes me $2,000, by the way.
And honestly, I don't care what any Democrat says on that city council other than like Ray Lopez. But you know what? Arguably, this guy has a point.
Well, he loves the TikToks. He loves the gram, the Instagrammy there. And he was going live, making fun of Darren Bailey while he was speaking.
Hey, have you ever heard a Trump Republican try to sound like a Democrat just to get votes for governor? Tune in.
Hey, y'all, if you want to see political pandering by the pathetic at its best.
So he's in there filming Darren Bailey, but he's in the foreground. It gets better.
Here's how they try to take advantage of everybody. Now this guy loves Chicago.
Investing in schools as a path to educational equity. I respect
There's your word, equity.
I believe every family deserves the freedom to choose the school that's right for their child, and that competition makes every school better. Chicago, my offer is simple. I want to work with you and make this state better.
Thirsty.
So please
Thirst mode. This is what thirsty looks like.
Yeah. By the way, Alderman Vasquez, a former rapper who allegedly urinated on the crowd once. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a really stand-up guy.
Yeah. Homeschools his kids, too, by the way. Yeah. Doesn't even believe in the system enough to send his kids to CPS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. But the thirst mode, he's just because he looked so desperate. That's what he was talking about. 312-642-5600. Phone lines are open and text line is open if you want to reach out.
Well, I got to tell you, Darren Bailey's not the only one who is talking about the separation of Chicago from the rest of the state. I don't know if you knew this, but NBC5 did an original documentary called Separation, A State Without Chicago. Here's their trailer.
I'm a farm girl. There's a lot of generational people who live here, they stay here.
I like Southern Illinois. We can move, but this is our home. This is where we love Southern Illinois. It's beautiful.
When you look at the makeup of the statewide officials in Illinois, do you feel like they're representative of the whole state?
Oh, God, no. They represent Chicago and the Chicago area. They could care less about what happens down here.
I'm basically stuck here. I'm pretty much stuck in Illinois and stuck at my property because of real estate taxes. I've got a son that's ill, and there's no help out there. I've tried. But we won't take care of the American people. We need to take care of the American people.
Small town America is no longer the vital region that it was.
The goal of New Illinois is to form a new state. Our goal is the entire Illinois except for Cook County.
They're developing a new state. They don't know what they're going to call it yet, but they're developing a new alternative to what we have today, and I think it's a good, fresh start.
I don't think succession would ever be an answer in the state of Illinois. I think it's an emotional thing for people who are downstate.
A big challenge for all of us is that America is pulling apart, and we need to address it because we're all in this game together.
And then the ominous music at the end there. So over 62,000 views. It came out apparently, I think, like 13 days ago. And the fact that they're picking up on what is really considered sort of a fringe idea that you would separate Chicago from the rest of the state. Although there has been a movement, and there's a new Illinois movement. There's all of this going on. I know some of the people involved in it. Okay, but I mean, for NBC5 to spend money on an original documentary is pretty interesting. I tell you what, there is a divide in how we think, how some of us think, and how the politicians think. And Amy, if you'll indulge me, I'd like to highlight a couple different bills and what happened in committee because it's pretty telling what they're doing.
First, we'll take your calls on what the new state should be in case we do separate.
Oh my
312-642-5600.
Well,
I mean, we could have some fun with that.
Well, let's get rid of Sean from Elmwood Park first
here he is.
Before I go into anything more, because then he'll have more to criticize me about.
Hi, Sean. Sean. Hottie.
What do you mean criticize you? You're the one that I supported. You broke my heart. You're the reason I said get the hell out of here. After you lost to 7 foot of stupid in what should have been anybody with an IQ, it should be Governor Jeanne Ives for term 4 right now. You had more balls than any guy that ever ran. That's for damn sure. And you were the only one that had the solutions. To listen to this moron, this absolute disgrace, this coward. It's nauseating. But I should be thanking him. I am on my way right now to go talk to more friends of mine who are getting the hell out of here. You know, and I get the campaign. Oh, please donate to my campaign. Right here, donate to your campaign. I work for my money. I'm going to give it to your limp-wristed ass. This Darren Bailey's a disgrace and stupid looking. Does he have a mirror in the frickin' house? Who the hell's going to vote for this idiot?
Sean, we always appreciate you weighing in. Thanks a lot for calling.
But wait. Sean, if Illinois separates into two, what do you think the lower half of Illinois should be called?
Well, you keep Illinois. You make the communists rename it with their sickle and hammer. And this
County commies.
Has been what he always ran on.
Yeah.
33 counties voted for secession. Did you hear Yogi Bear? Did you hear this idiot talk about it? Anybody who ran should have said, if I can't fix the problems in 12 months, I, as the sitting governor, will help you secede the way you voted, the way Indiana took you. He doesn't have one fracking policy. Then let me be your neighbor, Mr. Rogers, that big fat slob that he is. And how is he going to make fun of Pritzker? You got the same size petticoat, you fat tub of goo. Get the hell out of here.
Thanks, Sean. Always entertaining. Appreciate you.
Don't spit on the microphone. I don't like when it smells like perfume and lipstick. It doesn't get me in the mood for yelling. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean, and ease up on the cigars, won't you? I can't even imagine how bad that studio in Naples smells because sometimes Dan smokes cigars too, and it's an enclosed room and no ventilation. Oof. But Darren Bailey, remember when Darren Bailey said, stop making fun of Governor Pritzker because I've got I know what it's like to be overweight. Oh, my God. I mean, can he be more of a suck toy for the Democrat Party?
Well, since you talked about overweight, let's talk about eating because the House Education Committee, they're all about making sure that the Muslims have their halal meals and the Jewish have their kosher meals. And they had a whole half-hour hearing on this. Take a listen.
My name is Amina Bidhumi. I'm the Executive Director of the Muslim Civic Coalition. Thank you for the opportunity to testify as a proponent for the FY 2027 appropriations to fully implement the Faith by Plate Act, known as the Halal Kosher Bill. We're a statewide, nonpartisan organization dedicated to advancing racial and economic and equitable educational equity. We empower Illinois diverse communities to fully participate in our democracy with bold advocacy, coalition building, voter education, community-driven research.
Okay, so that's all about Faith by Plate. So they want you to, they passed a bill saying that you know what, school districts, you need to provide challah and kosher meals, and then they didn't fund it. So these guys are back at the table asking for $5 million in support to fund this, and they brought with them this Muslim student. Take a listen.
As I walk through the lunch line, the smell of hot meats fills the hallways, something exciting for many of my classmates, but a daily reminder to me that I will once again have to settle for something else. Kashmir is where my parents are originally from, my family's history. It's known as paradise on earth for its breathtaking landscape.
Why aren't they back
Food
there?
is central to the Kashmiri culture. In elementary school, my mom would pack me lunch with home-cooked meals, eager to eat it at lunch. But as the time came, I placed it on the table, and as soon as I opened the box, the aroma would linger around those near me. That excitement soon turned into discomfort. Instead of learning about the Kashmiri
so then
so this is real suffering, Jeannie. I mean, her mom packed her lunch. Oh my gosh.
And she can't now pack her lunch again. This is real suffering. Now it gets worse. You have the Jewish lawyer, male impersonator. Here's what he had to say about kosher meals.
I'm sure you can all relate to what it's like on a cold day when your kids are trudging through the snow, when all they have is a sandwich and their kids have hot food to eat in the class. I know that a hot bowl of soup or a plate of baked ziti, which is my son's favorite, is a welcome break from a cold day and being outside in the cold. So what I'm asking for you is, I want to feed my kids just like you want to feed your kids. And what I need for that to happen is that they can get a kosher lunch. I know that all the Muslim parents, their kids need a halal lunch. We just want to feel like everybody else, and we want our kids to feel like everybody else.
Oh my gosh, Amy, I couldn't even take it because I wanted to jump through my screen where I was watching this and like strangle these people. This is ridiculous. First of all, you can go ahead and get a thermos and put some hot soup in there, or like I would do. I'd put hot leftovers in there. Like if I made some sort of casserole they really liked, then I'd put it in a hot thing. They're like, Mom, can you heat that up for me? Sure, I'll do that for you.
When did this entitlement come?
I don't know.
Because when we were kids, your parents or my mom or with self-responsibility, you'd make your own lunch for the next day, or you'd get out and make your lunch for the next 5 days and put it in the fridge. And I mean, I have a friend that can only eat challah, so I get that. But you can pack it yourselves or bring it. You don't have to have a special. I don't understand why we're catering to everything and everybody. I mean, I understand, peanut allergies, you have the allergy tables, you have this and that inside of school. And I'm not being disrespectful to any religion, but if it's that important to you, just pack it yourselves.
Well, people,
or if you really want to pay for it, why do we taxpayers have to pay for it?
I completely agree. And the federal school lunch program provides 9 cents towards a meal. That's all it provides. So that's not the answer either. None of it's the answer. It's parental responsibility. This is outrageous. Did they, no meat on Friday Catholics? Come
right.
on.
And then Episcopalians bring a beef taco. Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? You're going to live with it because the Catholics have been living with meat on Friday.
I felt like it was really important to give you guys a sense of what's going down there. I just want to give you one more sense of what's going down there. And this is this Prisoners Voting Rights Act, HB 5415. Now, this is not going to go through right now, but they had a subject matter hearing on it, and they're serious about giving voting rights back to people who are incarcerated, people who are convicted, people who have not finished their sentence. Take a quick listen about what's going on here.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Leader West, members of the committee, for allowing me to testify in support of House Bill 5414, the Reintegration and Civic Empowerment or RACE Act. My name is Connor Kozichek. I'm Program Counsel at Chicago Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. The RACE Act ensures that people who are incarcerated can continue to engage in society in one of the most meaningful ways that we have, which is voting, and is important for racial justice and democracy in Illinois. It's also clearly within...
He goes on, and then we had another guy come in and talk about there's confusion about who can vote and who can't vote. Take a listen.
This is important for a number of reasons. One, I'll say it's very confusing in Illinois as to who has or does not have their voting rights. If you're incarcerated in jail, you can vote. If you're released from prison, you're allowed to vote. If you're on probation, you're allowed to vote. But if you're in prison, you can't vote. If you're on medical release, you can't vote. If you're on work release, you can't vote. This has caused a lot of confusion, which has further contributed to the disenfranchisement of people who are currently or formerly incarcerated. The other reason that we really want to pass this law is the reality that people who are incarcerated are living under inhumane conditions. They're working for no wages. They are living in conditions that cause for chronic illness, and they have no way to hold leaders accountable who are making policies that lead to the results of their lived experience.
Okay, so first of all, point in fact, the Democrats control Department of Corrections and have for a very long time. So if you have a problem with how prisoners are being treated, maybe you should talk to the Democrats. But the answer is not to give voting rights back to these types of people. Patrick Windhurst was really good on that, but we'll play that maybe after the break. We're gonna get to your phone calls.
Yeah, let's go to. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break. If you're on the line, stay on the line. We'll get to you in 2 minutes. 312-642-5600.
Don't believe the official narrative? You've got the real story on AM 560. The Answer.
You smell that? Spring. Hibernation's over. It's time to run it. Run it until the grass becomes lawn and the hedges duck and cover. Then, run it again. Still, get up to $50 off select AK battery tool sets. Offer valid for limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you, deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-682-3311. That's 800-682-3311. 800-682-3311.
AM 560. The Answer.
So it's called Separation, A State Without Chicago. It's an NBC5 original documentary. And hearing the trailer gave me the chills because it was with the ominous music. And I'm stuck here. It's like, oh, God, I can't get out. But people that, have been farming here for generations, they don't want to give up the land. No. They don't want to give up their livelihood. And, they want to stay here and fight. So they want to succeed from Cook County. So we ask people what, if they are able to separate, And I know they're trying to do this in California and the state of Washington and Oregon. What would the new state be called? So let's go to Dave in Racine. Good morning, Dave. You're on The Real Story. How are you?
Satisfactory. Dave here. I'm doing most satisfactory. And my name, well, I'd keep Illinois, the southern part of Illinois, the same, Illinois. But for the area around Chicago, I would change it to Mos Eisley, a reference to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, that line delivered by Alec Goodness. Nowhere is there a greater collection of villainy and scum.
All right, thank you.
Dave, thanks a lot. That's very entertaining. Let's go to Linda in Palos. Linda, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for taking my call today, ladies. I have two comments. Number one, about school lunches. I had 4 children, made them lunches every single day that they went to school, except for hot dog days, or a rare occasion, because it was unaffordable to have them buy lunch every day, but now I know they get free lunch. However, I sent them hot buttered noodles, I sent them soup, I sent them mac and cheese, for a warm meal, if they wanted a warm meal. And my lunches were so good, and my kids used to sell their lunches.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
I totally agree with you. My kids loved
Because I made great lunches, and you know what? That was part of having children. You make your kids lunches, and I feel if you want special religious-based meals, send your kids to your religious school of choice where they can provide those kind of meals and pay for it. Period. It should not be taxpayer funded. Period.
Thank you, Linda, for the call. I appreciate that.
Yeah, let's stay on the school lunch issue. Roger on the South Side. Good morning.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Yeah, I don't know why we're even talking about this anymore. I mean, listen, 3 quarters. Yeah, succession, I hope we get it or other people get it. But here, the bottom line of it is Chicago has one chance, and that would be to close probably in the network of 60 to 70% of the Chicago public schools. Okay, you consolidate, you fill up the ones, you go down the line, problem teachers go, get rid of them. You let professionals handle this. It's not, it's great that we talk about this every day. We fight the good fight, especially you two ladies. I love you. But, I mean, this is Animal Farm here, and you're not going back on it. This is not going to stop until there's no, guess what? There's no money left. Oh, wait, there's no money. When there's no money left, okay, push these problem people, and I'm saying all nationalities, all races, all the wrong people, push them somewhere else. Goodbye. See you later. Then you'll see Chicago become a world-class city again. We don't need 500 schools and a corruption system and a corrupt union of teachers, socialists, and stuff. It's a loser. This goes back 2,000 years. It's a losing situation.
Thanks, Roger. We're up against how many superintendents do we have here in Illinois?
Well, we have 852 school districts, so yeah, we have a lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. All right, thank you so much for making us part of your morning. We'll be here back tomorrow at 11 to noon. Have a wonderful day. God bless you, and God bless America.